I plan to come out better than I was last year, to be honest. And this is a quote from Dak Prescott. Do you guys think he's going to be better than he was last year? He had the injury at his ankle in week 5 or something like that. And do you guys think he's going to be better this year? I think he's probably going to have a better team this year. I think the Cowboys in general are going to be better. I think Dak Prescott's going to play better. And another thing, I think they're probably going to win the NFC East or at least make the wild card. I would say that's probably. I think they have a chance. I don't really see anyone else being as much as contenders, really. The Washington football team I could see also winning the NFC East. Those are really the two candidates, really. I don't really see the Giants, but maybe. And then the Eagles, no. Who do you guys think is going to win the NFC East? They penalize defensive players for offensive mistakes. This is Tom Brady talking about how offensive players are favored or something like that, which, do you guys agree with him? Do you think offensive players are favored over defensive players? He gave an example of how in his career he wouldn't throw the ball over the middle if Ray Lewis was there to get his receiver hit really hard by Ray Lewis. And do you guys think he's right? And some people in the comments were saying that he's the reason why these rules were happening. Do you guys agree with this? That he's the reason why more protection because of his 2008 injury, week 1? Or do you guys think it's another reason, just they want to keep players safer just so all the stars don't get hurt? It's a disservice to the sport because the sport isn't being played at a high level like I believe it once was. This is Tom Brady talking about football changing over the years. And I think what years he's talking about is probably mainly the 70s, 80s, and 90s, where it was probably the high of defensive players when they could really do whatever they wanted. But even before then, they made rules because some players would disservice to the sport because the sport isn't being played at a high level like it once was. And this is Tom Brady talking about how football has changed over the years. Do you think football has changed? I think the high mark he's talking about for defensive players when they could do pretty much whatever they wanted and not get as bad of calls. I feel like they allowed more to happen with hits and just hitting people in the helmet like isn't allowed anymore. So that's what he means. I think the years he's pretty much talking about are the 60s, 70s, and 80s, and in the 90s where a lot of the rules were very different of what they are today. I feel like that's happened in every sport, though, just because the league doesn't want to have to deal with all this negative attention. Even in basketball, people have been saying this for years, just because in the 80s, people would literally sometimes punch each other. So I think that they want to change just because of public reputation and money in general. You don't want to turn it on the TV and see people getting their head knocked off anymore. So I would see there's some people who want to watch this still, but do you guys agree with Tom Brady or no?